Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Bearable Bull here. And I got this aggressively average content for you today. As guys, I've been working extremely hard over the past couple days to finish up my first episode of the Aggressively Average podcast. I've been putting on the finishing touches, and I'm very excited to announce the first episode to all of you very, very soon. Stay tuned for it, because I think you're all gonna love it. But here, today we're gonna talk about a number of things, specifically how annoying it is to witness the rest of the crypto industry be absolutely filled with self-righteous credit seeking. Here I posted that the XRP army has been showing clips like this for almost 3 years as Ripple has been getting sued by the SEC, and Brian Armstrong, CEO of Coinbase, only cares because it's his turn now. Below is a clip from a fall 2018 graduate MIT course called Blockchain and Money, and Gensler, current president of the SEC, was the professor. The hypocrisy speaks for itself. But just know we in the XRP community have been showing things like this over the past 3 years. And now the maxis and the rest of the crypto industry wants to act like they figured something out. It's absolutely annoying. But nonetheless, let's go into it.
So we already know in the U.S. and in many other jurisdictions that 3/4 of the market are not ICOs or not what would be called securities. Even in the U.S., Canada, and Taiwan, the 3 jurisdictions that follow something similar to the Howey test that we've talked about, 3/4 of the market is non-securities. It's just a commodity, a cash crypto. So you'll hear debates about initial coin offerings and what's a security and what's not a security. Relevant and important debate. But for 3/4 of the market, it's not particularly relevant as a legal matter, as a regulatory matter.
You see, guys, I wouldn't be so frustrated if Ripple hadn't been fighting this fight for every single member of the crypto industry for 2 years now. But now, individuals want to act like Coinbase is standing up for the entire crypto industry. This was tweeted by Brayton Williams, stating Coinbase is fighting for all of us. He states if you're a Bitcoin maxi, NFT artist, DAO contributor, stablecoin holder, or just pro-crypto innovation, support Coinbase right now. Where the hell was the support for Ripple when everyone in the XRP community, John Deaton, Jeremy Hogan, we're all saying this is an attack on crypto, nowhere to be found? The reason is because they don't give a shit about Ripple and XRP. But now, when it's inconvenient for them, they expect us to give a damn. Ladies and gentlemen, we know that at the end of the day, if we get a favorable ruling, we will be the heroes of crypto. But let's see if they actually give us the fucking credit. Probably not. But watch as we'll have clarity and everyone else will start getting sued. Now, we have Peter Brent, someone who's not a big fan of the XRP army, saying it's incredibly important to alert crypto investors to the real Gary Gensler. Gensler was previously the chair of the CFTC, the agency overseeing futures FX swaps. And as the responsible regulator, the CFTC was the getaway driver for major bankruptcies and frauds of FCMs, such as Refco. The CFTC also manipulatively approved MF Global to transfer U.S. customers' segregated capital to meet its margin calls in the EU on a trade that eventually broke the brokerage firm. Gary Gensler is not a champion to protect the interest of individual investors. He is a pawn of big banking. FTX was proof, and Gary Gensler is a rat. Ladies and gentlemen, sometimes you need to look at history in order to understand the present. Gary Gensler is using the same playbook he had at the CFTC to destroy people's wealth, as he's head of the SEC right now. Gary Gensler is a rogue actor for incumbents, meant to destroy retail investors, made to destroy the wealth of the people, as he's sitting on a $100+ million fortune. He wants to annihilate whatever money we have saved up. Gary Gensler has to fucking go, and we're gonna get him out. Now, yet another bald-headed rogue actor meant to destroy the wealth of retail investors. Jim Cramer's at it again, stating First Republic's miserable moment is different from the '08 contagion. This essentially means First Republic Bank is on its way to collapsing. Ladies and gentlemen, something all of you need to know is that the media is always here to manipulate you. And if you've been watching my channel for years, you 100% know and acknowledge this. You 100% understand this. And with the recent firings of Don Lemon and Tucker Carlson, you guys should really understand that everything is planned in a coordinated manner. Here is a brief clip of Tucker Carlson admitting to the world that the media is part of the control apparatus. And if you were on the fence before of understanding that this is the reality, now there should be no questions left.
I've spent my whole life in the media. My dad was in the media. Like, that is a big part of the revelation that's changed my life, is the media are part of the control apparatus. Like, there's no, yeah, I know, because you're younger and smarter and you're like, yeah. But what if you're me and you spent your whole life in that world, and to look around and all of a sudden you're like, oh, wow. Not only are they part of the problem, but I spent most of my life being part of the problem, defending the Iraq war. Like, I actually did that. Can you imagine if you did that?
Well, what do you think? What is one of your biggest regrets in your career?
Oh, defending the Iraq war.
That is it?
Well, I've had a million regrets, not being more skeptical, calling people names when I should have listened to what they were saying. Look, when someone makes a claim, there's only one question that's important at the very beginning, which is the claim true or not? So I say, you committed murder or you rigged the last election. Before you attack me as a crazy person for saying that, maybe you should explain whether you did it or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for too long, I participated in the culture where I was like, anyone who thinks outside these pre-prescribed lanes is crazy, is a conspiracy theorist. And I just really regret that. I'm ashamed that I did that. And partly it was age, partly it was the world that I grew up in. So when you look at me and you're like, yeah, of course they're part of the means of control, I'm like, that's obvious to you because you're 28, but I just didn't see it at all. And I'm ashamed of that.
Isn't that what the media tries to do, though?
It's their only purpose.
Right.
They're not here to inform you. Really? Even on the big things that really matter, like the economy and war and COVID and like things that really matter that will affect you. No, their job is not to inform you. They are working for the small group of people who actually run the world. They're their servants. They're their Praetorian Guard. And we should treat them with maximum contempt because they have earned it.
And I will continue to act in that exact same way. Now, guys, as we can see, the Brics nations have over 70% of their trade deals between China and Russia settled in their local currencies. This is absolutely massive as we continue to see the de-dollarization of the world. However, what I'll continue to say without a shadow of a doubt is the US dollar is oversold at this moment in time. I do think after this uptrend that I do expect to still happen in the crypto market, that the dollar will gain strength again, especially heading into October this year. Then afterwards, I think it'll be lights out for the dollar. We have to remember that the media is meant to manipulate us. And most recently, the media has been telling us that the dollar is shit. It is not worth holding. The entire planet is pivoting away. And as someone who's been covering the dollar collapse for 4 years now, I can honestly say it's not time yet. Do you really believe that at the point of maximum FUD is going to be when they pivot away from the dollar? Absolutely not. Is America weak right now? Yes. Is there problems? Yes. But I also expect a reaction. I expect something to change. And you have to keep that at the back of your minds. Now, guys, with that being said, we'd say, when has this announcement about Ripple and XRP? And this was posted from Anders Lundberg, stating this is important utility that separates XRP from Ripple even further. One of the largest e-commerce platforms is now natively supporting cross-currency XRP Ledger payments. And this is a major milestone for XRP Labs, for XM, and for the utility of the XRP Ledger. But in addition, guys, we have this, yet another upgrade for the XRP Ledger XLS30 and automatic market makers. What makes this superior? Well, let's talk about it. But something that I can't say is this is one of the things that has David Schwartz absolutely excited. It's something that has gone under the radar as a major development on XRP. But it's something that has made the quality of our investment even better. Now I'm going to play you a clip to cap off this video for today, further explaining this upgrade. But I want to let all of you know that it's something you should be extremely excited about. We have plenty of things to be excited about over the next couple days, weeks, and months, specifically regarding XRP. And this, accompanied with the judge's decision, are a big part of it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Bearable Bull here. Thanks for tuning in. As always, I appreciate every single one of you. Now I'll be back tomorrow with another video.
For those of you who do not know, we recently proposed an automated native support for automated market maker on XRP Ledger. And I would like to get your thoughts on how do you think XRP Ledger has some inherent cool features compared to other blockchains? How do you think XRP Ledger is uniquely positioned to support a more lucrative and more efficient automated market maker?
Yeah, as Lauren just mentioned, the XRP Ledger actually implements one of the first kind of DEX version in the DLT space. XRP Ledger natively actually has decentralized exchanges. It's just previously it was supporting order book-based decentralized exchanges. Now it's supporting AMM. It's just something that's very powerful. And compared to the existing solutions that are widely seen on EVM-compatible chains, such as Ethereum, Polygon, BNB chain, and so on and so forth, this particular, the XRP Ledger solution, instead of being implemented on the application level, it is actually native to the chain. As far as I understand, it is actually implemented directly on the chain level, on layer one, so to speak. And I think that has a lot of advantages. For example, we have all the liquidity all on layer one. You can utilize the liquidity to increase liquidity efficiency. And secondly, we all know that, Shihao was just saying the problem with other EVM-compatible chains, the fact that miners can be bribed with higher gas fee, and then they can reorder the transactions, causing front running, this kind of issue. These issues would be mitigated on the XRP Ledger due to different sorting mechanism, actually definitive sorting mechanisms, such that validators would not be bribed. And also due to the different consensus mechanism, which is much more efficient on the XRP Ledger compared to other chains, it reduces also settlement latency, and it also makes attacks such as front running and also sandwich attacks that Shihao just mentioned far more difficult.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sure. Do you want to add something?
Yeah, so I think there's actually one feature as far as stand about the design is actually there's an auction feature. So basically, as I actually mentioned, that arbitrageurs will always actually run to actually trade on arbitrage opportunities, like for example, public information. And there is an auction feature I found interesting. There is actually for example, for the next, I think 24 hours a day, the arbitrageurs will actually first engage in an auction that you have to win the auction in order to actually trade on the potential arbitrage opportunities in actually the next 24 hours. And so basically, they first do auction and all the profits they actually win from the auction will actually goes to the liquidity providers in the pool. So basically, you mitigate the future, let's say, sandwich attacks or this kind of arbitrage profits, and even better, you actually straight to the auction and get the profits and actually give it back to the liquidity providers. I find that's actually an interesting design.
Awesome. Yeah, I would just like to add one more thing. We talked about why automated market makers exist, and one of the reasons we talked about is that scalability problem of blockchains, that the cloud-based DEXs cannot really scale well on public blockchains because of the higher transaction fee. Well, the transaction fee on XRP Ledger is almost zero, close to zero. So it's really, really possible for even the cloud-based DEXs to thrive on XRP Ledger. So that's another really cool feature, I think, that XRP Ledger. And also the AMM on XRP Ledger combines the good of both worlds. So it's an integrated DEX, which includes the advantages of both the order book-based exchange as well as the automated market maker-based exchange. I think both of them have their pros and cons, and you get the best of both worlds here.
Yeah, I agree. I just want to, based on my personal experience as well. Well, we know there was this DeFi summer period when the gas fee on Ethereum was just too high, intimidatingly high, such that sometimes a swap wouldn't, if it's not of sufficiently large scale, it would just not make sense. Definitely, I think a small fee would encourage also more liquidity, would not just facilitate but also encourage more swaps, and it's just more user friendly, so to say. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so
why do I hold XRP? Because Ripple's the chosen one to lead the new global digital payment system, and they use XRP. In 2013, the Federal Reserve began looking for faster payments options. 2 years later, an action plan was born and a federal payments task force was created. It included one company focused on crypto, Ripple. In 2014, the World Bank and Better Than Cash Alliance, which includes the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Clinton Global Initiative, and the governments of 32 countries, put out a report called The Opportunities of Digitizing Payments. 1 year later, the Better Than Cash Alliance featured one crypto company on their website, Ripple. Today, Better Than Cash Alliance and all other UN initiatives are focused on a single agenda, the Sustainable Development Goals for 2030. You can see the SDGs logo on Bill Gates' lapel, world-leading companies, the Better Than Cash Alliance website, and on the UN's official exchange, Exchange. What crypto is Exchange officially utilizing for their carbon credit solution? XRP. The world will move to a new international standard for exchanging electronic messages between financial institutions by 2025 called ISO 20022. Who was the first ISO 20022 member focused on distributed ledger technology? Ripple. Who's partnered with over 300 financial institutions, including Bank of America, American Express, PNC, Santander, SBI, HSBC, Standard Chartered Bank, Bank of England, India, Singapore, Scotland, Australia, and Indonesia, the largest banks in Japan, Canada, Egypt, the Middle East, United Arab Emirates, Thailand, Morocco, Bhutan, South Korea, Brazil, and Latin America? Ripple. Who is a former employee overseeing the Federal Reserve? Ripple. A former employee overseeing the world's largest asset manager, BlackRock's digital asset division? Ripple. Leading Australia's CBDC effort? Ripple. Who hired a former Treasury of the United States? Ripple. 2 former Federal Reserve attorneys to their board? Ripple. 2 former Clinton and Obama advisors, former Minister of Defense and Economics of Germany, former business director at Swift, former Swift board member, former CFO of PayPal, former head of the DTCC, former chief business officer at Uber, former VP of Amazon, and former SEC chair on their legal team? Ripple, who's a member of the Digital Pound Foundation, Digital Dollar Project, Digital Euro Association, Mojaloop, IMF's High-Level Advisory Board on FinTech, Hyperledger Blockchain Consortium, Open Payments Coalition, Faster Payments Council, Global Payments Steering Group, Cross-Border Working Group, International Association for Trusted Blockchain Applications, Crypto Climate Accord, University Blockchain Initiative, World Wide Web Consortium, and a featured partner of the World Economic Forum with 3 members of their team directly listed on the WF website, Ripple. Now, does Ripple and XRP sound like they're going to disappear, or do they sound like they're part of a much bigger plan? You decide.